you guys like a really quick update, and McFarlane can also jump in and give some thoughts on this. On the Fantano channel recently, you may have caught me doing a video on this AI, this virtual rapper FN Meka. Now, in the hours since that video has been posted, and also since a group by the name of Industry Blackout, who has been active in the past as well. Within my video, Black Twitter going off and that group coming out with like a large press statement about this whole thing. Capitol Records has decided to completely sever ties with FN Meka and the company creating FN Meka and pushing FN Meka. And yeah, I mean, for not only the very gross and exploitative reasons that I cited, but also like much of the internet, went even further into obviously the various kind of like character-esque and even racist components of the depictions of, people of color through this character and just like rappers at large. Basically just wanted to let you guys know that it seems like this thing is in the dust, this thing is in the toilet, this thing is in the dirt, and they're kind of just like ending this weird ass fucking clout rapper Fortnite shit plan that they had going. It's my opinion that Capitol Records was obviously very much in the wrong with this bullshit, and it was absolutely ridiculous. I will quickly read, what is their apology here, or their statement on the whole thing, and then maybe give some additional thoughts. McFarlane can jump in too.
I do want to say I kind of expected this when I seen it on Twitter.
You thought it was gonna get backlash and go down?
I didn't think necessarily backlash, but I thought this is not going to go very far. People either it's going to be backlash, people are not going to like it, or I'm going to reference your video a lot because I think the video you posted on the Fantano channel made a lot of good points that I'll wait till after you read the apology to make. But either it was going to be backlash, or people are just going to be like, this has no substance to it, so I'm not going to engage with this at all,
All right. I'll let you make some additional points, like you said, after I read this part. It says here, CMG has severed ties with the FN Meka project effective immediately, the label noted in a statement. We offer our deepest apologies to the Black community for our insensitivity in signing this project without asking enough questions about equity and the creative process behind it. We thank those who have reached out to us with constructive feedback in the past couple of days. Your input was invaluable, and we came to the decision to end our association with this project. It also says here, further, the project has been criticized after clips went viral of this AI rapper using the N-word in a song. People also pointed to an image shared on Meka's accounts of the rapper being brutalized by police. I saw that picture. It was kind of like making light of the situation. From there in this article, we have the Industry Blackout statement. Basically, I don't know. I'll give a quick thought, and then you can give some thoughts. I'll say that I feel like Capitol Records or CMG here is kind of playing stupid because they had to have known who was behind this project. You know what I mean? It's not like there was some kind of like mysterious shadow organization like operating in terms of like who created it and who owned it and who, was like basically like pushing the whole thing and would be continuing to, control the FN Meka project. The fact that it was so easily discoverable even by some, low-level publications and websites that I was running across and that I was finding information on the project on. Capitol had to have had way more information in terms of who was involved and how bad it could potentially look if they used their brains. For anybody who also did similar research into the project. So I think they're like whatever ignorance they're feigning there is totally bullshit. And, again, I don't think this is as a result of a whoopsie. I think this is because them, as well as many other parts of the music industry, see rap music as, just like a very cynical, just very cynically, just as a cash cow, and don't really look at it as anything else other than something to just exploit. But, those are my thoughts. I think the feigned ignorance is fake.
Yeah, I agree that they kind of knew what they were getting into when it comes to putting something of this kind of, I guess, weight out because they made a mockery of not only rap music, but kind of art as a whole. They made a mockery of the power of AI and what that has the potential to become with a lot of different things we've seen in the past couple months, with like stuff like Dolly and things like that.
Mhm.
AI is clearly on its way to being part of the creative world in more of a valuable and interesting way. And I think they took this and they said, like you said, how can we make money off of this? How can we turn this into something that could easily be a trend or a fad? And they wore it on their sleeves very plainly with the design of the character, with the voice, with the cadence of the rap, with what they were rapping about. And when you first see it, I don't think you realize how jarring and like the effect it's actually having and what they're actually communicating because the idea of that is so kind of far-fetched, you know, and exactly what they put in front of us at that point in time. So I completely agree with you that they had an idea of what was actually going on, but they kind of played dumb to it. Um, and it's unfortunate that this couldn't be something that started off cool from the jump because it's not necessarily a bad idea. The execution and the care and the understanding of the subject matter just wasn't there at all, which is unfortunate. But I do hope that we see more advancements in things like AI, generated music and art and things like that.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's a lot of potential for AI there in the future, but like it's not in creating a character of somebody essentially.
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
the thing I hate to even emphasize in any way the AI component of this because really it's just like, at least from what you can see when you really look at the design of this project, like such an irrelevant factor in the whole thing because all that
Right.
they've really admitted to is like AI took part in generating the lyrics. You know what I mean? Like
Hmm.
obviously the character, the vision of the character, and a lot of the jokes the character does on social media and so on and so forth are consciously designed and being created by a team of humans who want this to be some kind of like, clout rapper, Fortnite character crossbreed.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? And on
Absolutely.
top of that, like while there is a component of AI in the generation of the lyrics, like, these people are feeding this fucking AI like the kinds of lyrics that they want it to spit out. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's not
Yeah.
like, you know, uh, popular young rapper who raps about X, Y, or Z. Okay, go do a whole
Right.
verse of that. They're literally feeding it the shit they want it to say.
To say, yeah.
So there's so much human touch. There's so much human influence in every step of this process. It's just really difficult. Or not difficult. It's just ridiculous to be expected to accept this as like just some kind of big mistake on Capital's part
Hmm.
and just like some kind of purely computerized artistic venture on the part of this company that owns the whole thing, because obviously this thing was consciously designed to appeal to a very young demographic of people who listen to certain kinds of artists or go to certain kinds of festivals and, want to hear a certain kind of thing in their music and just like, exploit particular trends in
Yeah.
fashion and music in a really gross and disgusting and, again, character like way. And that's really all, I have to say about it.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree. It was very clear and it was very blatant from the beginning to the end. I had a thought, but it's completely escaping me right now. But I do think your video and what you said just now was very well put. Also, this kind of dives into ethics a little
Hmm.
bit. How
Sure.
could you create ethically, you know? Where is the line between human involvement and just the computer doing its thing? Really it goes from the top, like how do we create, and I didn't even think this would be a conversation we would have anytime soon, really, about art is like, how do we create AI ethically, you know? But it's good that this happened because now we know this is not an ethical way to go about it.
No, this isn't. You know what I mean? But there's lots of
Yeah.
ways that I think they could create something similarly exploitative, but make it seem like a little more above board given how they make it or how they present it or who's involved and so on and so forth. And, you know, believe me, I'm sure there's like some motherfucker or two or three or five at Capitol or some other record label right now who's like, okay, how can we do this, but like in a way that won't piss people off? You know what I mean? Like, you know, there's some fucker thinking that right now because like to do this and do it successfully, there's like so much potential monetarily. Absolutely. And you know, there's some asshole out there who's like thinking of doing exactly this, but like the right way. And you'll get like the same shitty exploitative, you know, outcome, but there'll be less reason for people to be up in arms, even though in actuality, people should still be fucking pissed and be ready and willing to reject outright whatever the fuck the, you know, 2.0 version of this is going to be when they launch, I don't know, some kind of like less problematic presentation of this fucking thing in the next year or two.
Right. Absolutely. I have one question for you and then we can move on.
Yeah.
Do you think there will be a point where AI generated things just kind of phase out art in a sense, or, you know, art is kind of detached from the human experience in a way?
It would have to be like, you know, there would have to be such amazing advancements in it that they're beyond like your and my comprehension right now. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, you know, I wouldn't even be able to think of what it would need to start, you know, what AI would need to start doing in order to like accomplish that. You know what I mean? But, you know, we'll leave that for another conversation, I guess.
No, absolutely. That definitely is an interesting point, but thank you for letting me share my opinion.
Thanks for bringing it. All right. Well, there you go. Those are those thoughts. That's that.